Sing it.
Cornbread, mashed potatoes. Cornbread, mashed potatoes.
Thanks.
You know what's really good with cornbread? Some chili or some honey.
Yummy.
Butter's good too if you melt it just right. It's right out of the oven.
Oh man, I could go for some pancakes with cornbread pancakes. You ever had those?
No,
dude.
Are we actually recording?
Next level. Next level pancaking.
Me and Jake running down the street with a handful of comic books, kicking ass and banging chicks and drinking booze
No, not
and
me.
smoking
Not
weed.
me. I'm married.
Yeah,
I'm married.
Jake
Can't do that.
Yeah. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.
Welcome back to
another
episode of Off Panel, Off Topic, episode number 11.
I had no idea we were recording. I would not have been.
I didn't get the whole song, but I got definitely enough to make a good intro. That's for sure.
I definitely wouldn't have been expounding on the
it's one of those
wonders of mashed potatoes and cornbread.
It's one of those rare cases. It's like when we did tinfoil radio. Occasionally we have a cold open. That was a cold open right there.
Yeah, it's fucking cold, all right.
Extremely cold, freezing cold takes.
Fucking cold, asshole. Jesus.
Tyler, we have...
Go ahead and sing that song. I won't record. Cold open in the worst of ways.
So, we got some trailers to talk about.
Ooh.
We've got some reactionary bullshit to talk about.
Oh, man. The incels are coming out.
We have some comic books to talk about.
Cool.
So, it's going to be a fun week.
You know what I like? Comic books.
Me and Jake.
Oh.
I didn't start us with the song. That's why. So, because that song that you were singing was so good, I didn't even think we needed a theme song.
I'm going to throw up if you keep licking my balls like that. The piano.
The miming of the piano I was doing. Yeah.
It kind of, you know what? I think it's kind of cool because it's something that you kind of use like as a reference point.
Yeah.
You know, like
it's also how
it helps you.
If you
think
notice
of
when
words.
I'm doing it, it's how I'm keeping tempo.
Right. That too. Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah.
We all have our little
nerdy
quirks.
little. We should just make a music podcast.
Did we talk about my musical Tourette's with the folks?
Yeah, because it was mentioned in an episode.
Ashley's also convinced now that I do have it.
I have it as well.
And at least one person at work at the
I've always been like that, though. Even when I was...
I've always been like that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That
was on purpose.
It was honestly stuff I would do with my friends. Like, if Tommy was there or Luke, like, we were hanging out, we would just randomly burst out in a song, just doing random shit like that. We were just weird. And I thought I was the only one person that did it. So I thought it's funny that you do it.
I fucking love doing it, dude.
I like singing. I like to sing.
It's always like the really bad, like, 80s metal singer, like, hey, yeah. You know, like, really overly wrought.
We talked about that.
He's got super poofed hair and just a vest. Leather.
Whenever we were making music, it's always the same conversation of like we say really dumb rhymes like but and like very sophomoric sounding things, but it actually is how we work out the lyrics. So a lot of its stuff is just saying but. That's pretty much all. It's
about 90% of it.
Yeah.
The rest of it is just glue.
Have you seen that butt? Like stuff like that. And it's
what?
I'm talking about your butt.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a twist I wasn't expecting. It was M. Night Shyamalanian. Trying to say like
M. Night Shyamalanian. That was right.
That twist was very Shyamalanian.
Shyamalanian.
I feel like that's a verb.
It should be.
Gosh, and
it describes like really terrible twists. Like I got to my wedding and lo and behold, standing in my place was my best friend.
That's a twist.
What a Shyamalan twist. It sucked.
I gotta say though, I recently watched Split for the first time. And I actually really enjoyed it.
I was over here. Yeah, that was actually not bad. It was. McAvoy fucking kills it, dude.
I'm willing to watch Glass now because I was going to anyway.
Am I right?
But
McAvoy fucking kills it.
Yeah, it's horrifying when he becomes the Beast.
It's horrifying. It's
like when he's crawling on the walls and shit.
It's really great when he's like going in and out of like the characters because like that takes a lot of chops.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and McAvoy's a solid.
I think he's kind of underrated.
I think the biggest travesty of the Disney X-Men is the possibility that we're not going to see Fassbender and McAvoy play those two characters again, because I would love to see them get a second chance.
Yeah.
Because First Class was okay.
Yeah.
I really like Days of Future Past.
Days of Future Past was great.
But man, did Apocalypse dip in
Apocalypse
quality.
sucked balls, but here's the thing is, again, Fassbender just fucking killed it.
Oh, yeah, he's great in that movie.
I will say, I can't stand McAvoy in that one. It's so dumb.
Oh, the whole angsty Xavier?
Yeah.
I didn't like that angsty Professor X.
No,
that was Days of Future Past.
No, we're talking, he's just everything about Apocalypse, like, hey, let's destroy... I'm
going to touch TV. Learning. What the fuck was that? Anyway. There's a reason why there's off topic in the title of this show, because we are way off topic. But you know what? I like it when we're a little bit more conversational.
What the fuck happened?
Get your shit together.
See?
Musical Tourette's, everybody.
Beautiful voices.
So let's talk about some controversy to start the show.
Let's talk about let's amend that to we're going to talk about a made up controversy.
Yes, a bullshit controversy.
Made up by a bunch of incels in their mommy's basement, and not realizing that the reason why women don't want to sleep with them, it's not because of all
unrealistic
women, it's because
expectations.
You are fucking you're gross or something. I don't know.
So yeah, the controversy comes from where it always comes from, and here's the thing. It's the same fucking people, which is just so annoying. This anti-SJW section of YouTube. It's The Quartering. It's Geeks and Gamers. It's Yellow Flash 2. It's Young Ripa. They're all the same. They're all these fucking YouTube channels that bitch and moan at anything, any sort of made-up controversy. Like, these are the same people that I addressed in that He-Man video.
Oh, yeah. Fuck
where they're just...
Fuck you.
It's like this warped sense of how they think a story should be, and just like,
I guess making money is cool.
Women only exists in their art to serve the male characters. They have no fucking autonomy. They're not their own people, and also they have to have unrealistic beauty expectations of being tiny waist, big ass, and big tits.
Well, okay, so first things first is, I guess it's cool to make money as long as you're fucking screwing up society, right? You assholes.
Yeah, you're all fucking pieces of shit.
Pieces of shit. Look at my 6 cars.
And
cool.
Here's
Guess
why.
what? People aren't wearing masks because of you.
Here's why I hate them.
Because they suck.
Because I know that they're full of shit and they don't believe the things they say.
Right.
Because if they did, they wouldn't enjoy anything. So they're fucking full of shit, all of them.
So fuck off.
And that's the biggest crime.
So let me delve into this in the only way I know how, which is talk about anime. Now,
I am not a watcher of anime.
I have watched a lot of anime in my day. I have also seen some hentai. Okay.
Did you watch Cowboy Bebop?
I saw a couple episodes. I'm not really into the series anime. I was more like movies. Like I liked Akira. Akira is still.
I want to be clear. I know what Cowboy Bebop is. Like, I know I've seen it before. I haven't watched an episode or anything, so I have no real attachment to it.
There was this one when I was a kid called, I think it was Gogol 13, and they made a Nintendo game out of it. But it was this like secret agent dude, and it was really cool. But so there's all sorts of things, and even in regular anime movies and stuff. What? Even in regular anime movies.
Stop.
Oh, did you stop recording?
Well, it's because you can't hear it, but the ad I was reading the article on played a fucking auto ad, and there's special places for people like you in hell that have autoplay on your ads on an article I'm reading.
I don't care if you have that, but give me a chance to exit out,
or it's automatically muted.
Face. Right,
you fucks. Anyway,
sorry, man.
Sorry, it completely derailed it because I'm trying to read along with the story.
We have some technical difficulties, so I normally can hear the computer.
I like how you snapped at me like it was my fault.
I didn't know if you were. Sorry. Even in regular anime movies, they show nudity. Okay. And here's something I've always thought was really, really funny about anime and hentai and the whole gamut from regular anime to softcore to all the tentacle shit and whatnot. Because that's the far extremeness. But they always show women in clothes and they look like they have maybe a B cup, like maybe, right? And then, like, at a point when they actually do, like, show them, taking their shirt off or whatever, all of a sudden they have, like, double Ds. And it's like,
these big swinging
where were those? Which is funny to me. And also, yes, most women in these cartoons are buxom. Like, they're the Barbie almost, the big ass, tiny waist, big tits.
Yeah.
And
completely unrealistic proportions.
Absolutely, dude. It's ridiculous, right? But
and I want to be clear.
It's part of the culture and part of the thing. So I mean, hey, I'm not going to lie and say, oh, I don't like seeing that.
Well, comic books are the same way.
Oh, absolutely.
And so a video guy,
Jimmy got famous because he could draw really nice tits. Let's be honest.
That's what I'm saying.
He made Psylocke into a sex object. She wasn't quite then before, but then, man, oh my lord.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, yeah, I mean, Cowboy Bebop is a jumping off point to talk about this, and I still want to talk about the controversy behind that.
Yeah, I got a lot to unpack.
Here's the thing: I think men are just upset because they've had years, decades of the same idea of a female body of this big tits, big ass, tiny waist, where it's like it's not just it's in an anime, it's in your fucking comic books.
Almost every
it's on your movies. It's even
like
your cartoons. Yeah,
you'll see like kids cartoons where the woman is obviously buxom, but they just don't have like a line to indicate cleavage. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, like, I mean, even I know what that is, but Tatiana Maslany, I think is how you pronounce her name. She's in She-Hulk. Okay, and typically She-Hulk is now.
She thick.
She's like 6'4", and like I mean she's stacked. She is built like a brick shit house. She's just like that song, dude. Brick House. She really is like just insane, right?
Yeah.
Now they played on that for some of the jokes in her series that I told you to check out. The one where it's more of a comedy series. They played on that a lot. There's one where she's jumping rope on the cover and ostensibly she's naked, but the jump rope
covers her boobs. And
the way he drew the jump ropes, right?
Yeah.
It just covers the right parts. And the whole first couple pages is her doing this and her going like, hey, are you sure we should be doing this? And he's like, hey, listen, we're going to sell a lot of, he's like, hey, we're going to sell a lot of books here, And then Renee Witterstatter, who is the editor of the book, comes out and she's drawn by him, of course. And she's like, hey, what is this crap? You can't be doing this. Stop that jump over right now. And
oh my gosh. I hope they have that in the show. That would be
he's like,
funny.
What do you mean? What do you mean? No, you can't stop. She's totally naked. And she does stop and she's got a bikini and on each boob and on her and in her crotch is the Comics Code Authority symbol. and she's like, relax. I was never naked. It was just a ploy to sell books to these creepy little fanboys.
That's a whole book?
No, it was like the first 4 or 5 pages, but it's okay. Let's get back to the story. But it's just like that's hilarious to me.
Yeah.
They play upon it a lot about how big her boobs are and stuff in that series.
That would be really funny to keep going with that breaking the fourth wall and
can you do a She-Hulk series without a stacked She-Hulk? Yes. Can you do the jokes and still have a character that is complex like She-Hulk without her being stacked? Yes, it's possible. And when we hear from Daniela Pineda, it's really funny how she puts it forth, which is from
a woman's perspective.
Oh yeah, like I mean, she says at one point, I don't want to give it away, but I'm gonna. She says,
we'll play it right here.
Okay, let's listen to it.
Hey guys, so as you know, our Cowboy Bebop first look dropped today, which was so exciting. And I just wanted to address a couple of things that sort of keep coming up in the comments amongst fans. First, I wanted to apologize to the fans that I did not anatomically match the Faye Valentine character. 6 foot, double D size breast, 2-inch waist. They looked everywhere for that woman, and they couldn't find her. It's kind of weird. So they just went with my short ass. I know. Am I right? There was talk about like, can we put Daniela in a time machine and maybe give her different parents so she has different genetic information to sort of make her look better?
I didn't show you the whole clip.
It proved to be too complicated. And the other thing I wanted to bring up was I want to apologize that the outfit I'm wearing is not exactly what she wears in the anime. We tried. But doing stunts in tissue paper, things disappear, they rip. Sometimes it just got. Anyway, like I was saying, that original costume, they made a couple of them, but like I said, they got sort of slurped up in my various crevices, never to be retrieved again. So we needed to really build something that could withstand the test of time. So just,
I love the fact that she even made the joke that, like, a fat joke, okay, because she's not at all.
No, she's, if you see, I mean, and let's be honest here. I don't want to say, like, we were talking off the air, I don't want it to seem like, oh, well, she's fine for the role because she's hot. Like, she is very attractive, okay? But
most actresses are.
I haven't seen this, I hadn't seen this clip, but if you Google her and check out some of the images, like, you can see her personality coming through, like, on some of the red carpet shots. She clearly has a fun personality. She's got a good sense of humor. She doesn't take herself too seriously. And I love women like that. She's confident, she's strong, and she's kind of a badass. She's like, I'm not going to give a fuck what you think. I'm going to do my thing. And I'm like, that's hot to me. Also, is attractive, strong women who are just like, fuck you,
Also, I feel
this
like
confirms that who she is.
I feel like this shouldn't have to be said, but I'll say it. It was a fucking anime.
Cartoon.
It's a cartoon. It's unrealistic. People are not built like that, dude. Like, unless you do some serious, plastic surgery and dysmorphia to your
really
body.
Great genetics somehow. We don't all know how that works.
I
really
just think, logistically, a body couldn't work that way. I feel like doctors. That poor woman's back would break from the weight of her tits.
Yes.
Because these are gigantic boobs on these
That's
things.
why it's in a cartoon, because
you could make that shit up.
Physics don't apply to the drawn page. And this touches on
most women are normal proportionally.
This touches on all sorts of shit, because check this out, right? The next James Bond is going to be a black woman, right?
Yes.
And
is that true? Has that been confirmed?
I believe so. I believe so. She did an article where she was like, this is what I've been building towards my whole life.
Okay. I'm going to look that up.
Please check it out. Yes. But okay, let's say, regardless of whether it's totally true or not, the fact that they're considering it is huge, right? A character has typically been played by.
Right. It's I believe it's Lashana Lynch.
She's the one. She was the woman who shot him in the fucking the last one. No, not Spectre.
Skyfall.
Yeah, she's his.
I have never seen them, so I don't know. But
Skyfall is actually pretty good.
So I haven't. What I saw on that, it looks like.
Oh, you don't watch a lot of James Bond. That's right. I forgot about this.
Ashley's the one who watches the Bond shit.
Regardless of all this,
no, you're right. I think it's going to be Lashana Lynch. She's already played a 007 agent, so she will be
right. She's basically going to take over from Daniel Craig.
Pretty much, yeah.
Here's the great thing about this is, I understand that the character's typically been played by a white man. I understand. I don't understand why some people are upset about that. I know some people are. I know that it is revolutionary for a black woman to be playing this character, and I think that is badass. But here's the thing. It's story. What's the word? It works with the story. Narratively. Like, for instance, okay.
So you're saying her Bond makes sense?
Yes. But also, it's
or her 007, I guess.
It's cool that they're basically also confirming the fan theory that every single Bond has been a code name. That's fucking cool, man.
Yeah,
that is cool as fuck.
And that, it's funny, as I got into a discussion.
But it's a fictional character.
We were having a discussion about that. And I can relate it back to this here, but we had a discussion about this a few years ago when there was talks about having a female Bond. There was also talk of Idris Elba and that whole controversy about why a black man couldn't be Bond, where the creator kind of ran to that issue, which I thought was stupid, because it's like, dude, why are you defending this?
Yeah,
just admit that you fucked up. Yeah. But anyway, but what we were talking about was if there should be a female 007, and I took the side of it doesn't matter. Like, we had a couple friends who were like, well, it's usually this type of character. And I'm like, yeah, but why is it any different if it's a female? Now, I've seen the arguments of saying, like, why not make your own version of a female 007? And I was like, I get that, but it doesn't have the weight of her character being canon. So, and I think that what you were talking about with that, I don't see a problem with a female Bond, and this is why I'm also someone who is a grown man who understands that not all women are look like that, because that is a male fantasy.
Yes, it's what you see in porn movies is not real women. These are women who either have personal trainers and were born like that, and had some enhancements, or they're totally enhanced. But of course, there are some natural women, of course, amateurs, whatever, but generally, like, the porn stars who get really popular are like the Jenna Jamesons, who's enhanced.
Wow, that's aging you.
Yeah, right.
But I know what you mean. Like
Nikki Benz.
There's always that
I really don't want to name
stereotype of the blonde chick with the big fake boobs.
Yeah,
that's in porn.
Yeah,
that's because
that is rare.
Again, this
folks.
This is what I'm saying about the Cowboy Bebop controversy that's made up by these fucking neckbeards on the internet.
Right?
It's because they've lived in a society where we have said this is what an ideal woman looks like. This is a perfectly proportioned woman, and it's just not true, because you're going to find out, just like men, women come in all shapes and sizes, buddy.
For most of the last century's media, there has been the damsel in distress bullshit.
Dude, flip on fucking Fox News and it's all blonde, attractive women on there.
The fridging.
Like, there's always this type of weird sexualization of everything.
The fridging. Kyle Rayner's girlfriend.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, that character existed just to get murdered. Just to get murdered.
Yeah, the woman in the fridge.
What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, and these guys, like, have no problem with any of this. In fact, they don't even notice that it's happening, because it's outside of their fucking worldview.
You're right, and they don't mind when, like, characters. There are always examples of female characters being brutally murdered, and I'm not talking like slasher flicks, because slasher flicks are different. They have crazy
Everybody's
kills.
Supposed to get murdered.
Yeah, and it's over the top.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, serious, legit, scary, like, horrifying movies or intense thrillers or suspense. Like, there's always, yes, men get brutally murdered in these too, but there's always at least that one character that is traumatically creating this plot device of the woman in the fridge, where, like, she only has a super awful traumatic experience to make the male character give a shit and actually, like, be a hero, which is fucked up. And you're right, they'll accept those plot devices, they'll accept that fucking story structure,
because to them women are objects and plot devices. So that's why they'll accept these over-sexualized female characters. And now we actually live in a society that says, hey, that's we don't need for, like, there's again what I said. Men and women, they come in all shapes and sizes. Yeah.
Stop making up this bullshit. Every superhero or every character has to be this six-pack fucking jacked-looking dude. It's the same for women. They don't have to be these super ultra-fit, beautiful people
I was thinking
for me
about
to enjoy
this.
A goddamn movie.
I was actually thinking about this, kind of pointing to that. Who could I cosplay as? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not ripped.
If you were not to, like, never, like, work out, just stay where you're at, not, like, work out for it or anything.
Yeah. Exactly. You're who the fuck could you?
I could be.
I could wear, like, one of those suits with, like, the fake muscles.
I could be.
But that's dorky.
I could be Bro Thor from Endgame.
Yes, you could. That'd be actually really funny.
I thought about doing that doing that for Halloween a few times. Also, I'm glad we're talking about this, because it's just.
I could be live action.
I have an example.
I could be live action Yosemite Sam.
No, I have an example of this kind of bullshit controversy being used for males.
Oh, cool.
So there's. God of War is a great video game franchise. For people that don't know, that in the first trilogy, you find out that your dad is Zeus, and, like, you're pretty much killing everything in Greek mythology. And
do you remember the Robot Chicken sketch?
Yeah. They had 3 of those, and then they moved into, well, they had a bunch of other spin-off games or whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, the main line was 3 games. So then the 4th game is a sequel to that, and it picks up in Norse mythology. So now you're the same character, Kratos, but you're fighting in Norse mythology. So it's really cool, because it's a lot like knowing what I know about the Marvel Thor and knowing how they incorporate Norse mythology. I already picked up on some things. So you're actually playing, and you can go to, there's 9 realms, and you can actually go to them. And you do it by using a Bifrost, and it's like it's such a cool thing of like, oh, I know what this stuff is. But you don't see Thor in the first game. You don't fight Thor. You fight his sons, Modi and Magni, and you kill them. And at the end of the game, there's end credits, and then you just see like lightning, and then he comes out, and Kratos comes outside, and then you just see a hammer. You don't see anything. And now God of War Ragnarok is coming out next year, and that's the direct sequel to that, and Thor is in it. And I'll pull up a picture of it for you to see, Tyler. Okay. But he is traditionally what Thor looks like. He's not this rippling, buff Chris Hemsworth looking dude. Mm-hmm. He's got a gut. Like he's big and like he's a big burly dude with a gut, and that is funny because now we have a male version of reactionary idiots. So I'm gonna pull this up for Tyler real quick. Well, and again,
show me the sexy Thor.
I'm excited because I could be.
Yeah, you're excited.
I could be Thor too. What I'm saying is like I could dress up as him, but this is what they're designed for Thor. So still a big, strong-looking guy, but he's just got a gut.
Yeah. Look.
And his hammer, by the way, Mjolnir, is accurate to the Norse mythology.
Yes, it is. It's much more accurate.
And it's not... So again, because we have this Marvel version of what Thor looks like, we built up these insane beauty standards for a fictional character, like you're saying. Why the fuck do you care about Thor with a gut? Like, that is more accurate to the mythology.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
Well, yeah, and I'll touch upon a couple more of these subjects when I get to my long box, because it kind of has to do with that too as well, like how story beats work and stuff. So, yeah, but in general, you got a problem. Like, okay, real quick before we move on, I do want to talk about sometimes movies fake us out. One example is Cameron Diaz in The Mask. Right? Mm-hmm. Now, Cameron Diaz is an attractive woman, right? She doesn't need like double fucking D's to be attractive. Now, yes, when I saw The Mask, it was like, holy shit, I didn't even know women like that hot had boobs that big. Like, wow, that's crazy. And then, okay, it's movie magic, right? Mm-hmm. But it's like, okay, I kind of want to ask the director, was it important to the story that she had really big tits? I mean, I'm serious. Yeah. Was it? Because if so, cool. I mean, that's movie magic. But if it wasn't, why wouldn't you just let her have her own body? I mean, her own body is just fine. Holy shit. You seen something about Mary? Oh, my God. Right? Anyway.
Yeah.
I just wanted to put that forth. Like, that's kind of another way that...
Yeah, so it's not... This isn't an isolated incident. This is nothing new. It's just... It's getting really fucking annoying.
We're basically pushing back against this bullshit. These fucking losers
have been doing this shit for like 4 or 5 years now, and it's the same dog shit content, low effort, and I just wish people...
And they're indoctrinating these fucking young impressionable kids into this white supremacist fucking misogynistic bullshit and racist shit, and it's just like... Fucking play your video games, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, nobody fucking wants to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
I don't like that there's kids fucking being indoctrinated into white supremacist ideas because they watch Twitch. Like, fucking, that's fucked up, dude. That is fucked up.
Yeah, it is what it is.
But yeah,
I agree with you. We shouldn't let these people... I don't. You know what? They can have their content, but I wish people would wake up and realize
stop watching it. Stop watching it.
It's all bullshit.
The reason why they are so popular is because you watch it. If you stop watching it, everybody does because it's bullshit.
So let's talk about things that
start watching us, right?
Well, we're not really on YouTube. Right?
I don't really care, but we're awesome.
Listen to us. That's the phrase.
We're way more funny and way more attractive than any of those assholes.
Yeah, fuck them.
Right. Way better facial hair.
All right, let's talk about some trailers, Tyler.
I mean, have you seen my mustache? Let's talk about trailers.
What a segue. So, the first one I want to talk about, The Matrix Resurrections.
Okay, so did you see like the teaser for the teaser trailer the day before?
With the pills?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was just annoying because it was like, oh, cool, and then I watched it and it was
a few
like,
days.
Fuck! Like I was so pissed.
Because there was a Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then they're like, trailer Thursday.
They released it on like Saturday at the Warner Brothers Con or something like that. And
it was a couple weeks. It was CinemaCon. It was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. And so, but I remember reading an article like that. That means the trailer can't be far behind. It's like, oh, sweet. And then that came out. I kept checking like every day, and I was like, oh my God, cool. And it was just like 30 seconds and like fuck you, man. Just fuck you. Where's the goddamn trailer? You know?
Yeah.
And it ends with him stepping off a building. Yeah, thanks. That's fucking real generous of you.
Yeah. So my big takeaway from this, first of all, I loved that it looks like most of this is going to be in the Matrix.
Yes.
Which is the thing that always, everybody that I've talked to that's seen those, watched the Matrix, everybody agrees the fucking Zion revolution is the least exciting thing about those movies for me and for any people that I've talked to.
The only cool thing about those scenes, to be really honest, and I know, we were just talking about this, but there are a lot of really hot people, like men and women, for ladies, for the men, in those scenes.
What, the orgy scenes?
No, just in the scenes in general. Like, they generally hired really good-looking people and fairly well-endowed people.
I would prefer to watch the one where they're kung fu flipping and dipping in the air.
That's what I'm saying, is there's only, that's kind of...
But, yeah, I know what you're saying.
It makes it palatable.
Also, by the way, go back and I
feel like I just totally fucked up our whole original point.
You did.
I'm sorry.
I went back. It's
Way to be an ally, and then you weren't.
And it's funny that you brought that up because...
Sorry, every chick in those scenes has huge tits. I'm sorry, they do.
Well, no, I'm telling you, if you go back and watch the trilogy, if you'd shut up and stop digging a hole for yourself... I was trying to say that those movies are extremely horny. Yeah. All three of those movies. Yeah. Especially the second one where we watch a woman have an orgasm in the Matrix Code.
Yeah.
People forget about that shit when he's talking about her eating a piece of cake that makes her come. And I did not pick up on that when I was watching that at 10 years old. I watched The Matrix very young.
I picked up on it a few times.
Why is your vagina exploding?
What?
That's what I was thinking. I didn't know it was coming. See there, I took all the heat off you and put on myself. So I want to talk about this
I bring my own heat.
Do you think? Is this going to be a direct sequel to Revolutions?
I don't know, but I like. I have faith in Lana Wachowski. That
it's interesting that she's doing it by herself.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's good or bad. That who's the other one now?
Lily, I think.
Lily. I don't know why Lily's not involved. I hope it's not indicative of the. But look, you got Keanu back. You got
Carrie-Anne Moss.
This is gonna be fucking cool as.
So, but do you think that because it looks like it's going to be a commentary on our society because there's all these people on the phones.
Right. It's going to.
So, like, somehow they're going to tie in phones, making a new, maybe, I don't know.
I'm excited.
That could be the new way they jack in because they don't have payphones anymore.
The fact that they kept taking all the different pills, like instead of like one pill or the other.
Well, if you think, here's the genius of it. Here's the fucking genius of it. And I picked up on it the second time I watched the trailer. Neil Patrick Harris is clearly an agent.
Yes.
And he's given him the blue pill to suppress him because he knows it's Neo. Which is why I think it is a direct sequel to Revolutions, because it was mentioned in Reloaded that this was the sixth version of The Matrix when he was talking to the architect. So he said there was always a one. So Neo is a constant in this cycle, and they keep trying to suppress him. But I don't know about Trinity. I don't know how that whole thing's going to work out, because she got impaled outside of the Matrix in the third movie.
I don't remember the last two.
I'm gonna rewatch all three here soon.
I probably will.
Because it's all on HBO.
I will say this: when you watch the first one, you're like, oh,
the first one still fucking holds up. By the way,
here's what I was gonna say is like, because it's been long enough. It's been a long enough time, and it's such a part of the zeitgeist and the social consciousness, the cultural consciousness. It's not often that you think, hey, I'm gonna watch The Matrix. It really isn't, right? I mean, there's so much content out there, so much newer stuff, and it just feels like I've seen it, been there, done that. But trust me, if you're thinking one day you have nothing to do and you're like, I got nothing to do and I don't know what I want to watch, fucking watch The Matrix, dude. No shit. You'll be like, oh my God, I forgot how fucking awesome this movie is.
The movie is 22 years old and it still holds up.
Still so fucking good, dude. And dude, changed special effects forever, dude.
Here's what's funny.
How many times has a bullet thing been parodied?
Here's the thing. Actually, I'd never seen it, and it was it was 2 years ago when it was the 20th anniversary, because I was like, I've been itching to watch it because I'm like, it's the 20th anniversary. And she had never actually watched it. She had known about all the jokes, but she had never actually watched them. And I sat down and watched it with her, and this is how I know how good the movie is, because there's only a few movies that I'll watch from my childhood that really fucking hold up.
Yeah.
And like RoboCop's an example. I watched that a million times.
So good.
The Matrix is a great example, because I remember sitting there watching it, and like the first shot with Trinity, the 360 shot, a little bit harsh on the eyes. I'm not going to deny that there are some special effects that are clearly 22 years old, and you have to kind of accept the fact that this movie came out that long ago, and not all the effects are going to hold up.
Most of them do.
I'm still impressed that Terminator 2, 30 years later, still holds up. But anyway,
still great.
Anyway, my point is, I remember watching that with her and sitting there and getting giddy for the next set piece, because I knew it was coming. I remember being like, this is fucking rad. Because I remember the dojo scene is probably my favorite scene.
And you totally forget about it, because they never show that in like retrospectives. It's always the leather coats and the bullets and shit.
We're sitting there and she's watching it and I go, oh fuck. And she's like, wow. I'm like, this scene's awesome. And then the whole fucking stop trying to hit me and hit me.
Yeah.
And then when he does the flip off the wall and like breaks the whole arm thing where it moves really fast, he's like, oh, what the fuck? And I just remember sitting there being like, holy shit, this movie still fucking rocks.
Yeah.
And then
that's what's great about watching The Matrix again, is little parts you forgot, like the fucking dojo
what's great
scene.
About, and this is, we'll talk about this here in a second when we talk about the new Morpheus. But Lawrence Fishburne is so fucking hammy in that first movie, and it gets even worse in the sequels.
Yeah, it does.
But when she's like, what's happening? And he's fighting with Smith, and he's like, he's beginning to believe. Like, just the way that he delivers that line is great. But
I love Larry Fishburne.
There's so many times, dude. There were so many times watching that first one. And I remember getting to the part where Morpheus gets captured, and they have to go rescue him. It's guns, lots of guns, and they get all the guns and they get on it. And then I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, oh shit, this third act is non-stop fucking action.
Yeah,
because they get in the lower. It's literally them shooting their way up to the top of this fucking 30-story building, and then when they get up there, there's another fucking fight scene. There's a helicopter scene where he has to stop it, and then they go on the subway and have an epic fucking fight between Smith and Neo, and this whole time I'm sitting there, I'm being like, holy fuck, this movie's amazing. And then honestly, going back, I haven't watched Reloaded and Revolutions recently.
I saw the sequels each in the theater, dude, and I never saw them again.
That freeway scene of the second movie is fucking real.
Do you know they did that practically?
Majority of it, yeah.
I was reading an article, and the scene where the two trucks collide.
Yeah.
They literally like sped two trucks or a truck or a camera at the truck, and then at the very last second like backed it away. But I mean, it had to be perfectly timed, or else both the truck and the camera were just going to be crushed.
And that fucking soundtrack in the background, and then like that techno fucking beat when they're fighting on the freeway.
Remember when they were making the movie, they built
I want to go watch those movies now.
They built an entire stretch of freeway just for themselves.
Yeah,
like a 3-mile stretch of freeway, like out in the middle of nowhere.
That scene is
because they knew they couldn't ever do it on regular fucking roads. The stuff they wanted to do, they were like, we're gonna tear up this fucking road.
I love how the third movie.
That's awesome.
There's something in the trailer that I didn't notice until somebody pointed out. I don't know if it's true, but there's a shot of a girl with sunglasses and she's looking down.
Yeah.
And she's like smiling at him. Somebody think like there's a rumor that that's the girl that was in the train station in the third movie. So they brought that actress back in this movie, which would make sense. She would be in her 20s at this point.
I suppose so.
Which is fucking wild.
See, I don't remember the girl in the train station.
Yeah, the Revolutions is, oh boy, like the fact that he's like stuck in a train station for like 20 minutes of that movie.
Yeah, what the fuck?
What was going on there?
I don't know, but god damn.
No, I really do want to go back and watch all three of them, because I think when I come out of it, I think I'll probably think a little bit better of 2 and 3 because
I will too, because I'm a different
there was so
person.
much negativity after, like there was so much hype for that second movie.
Same thing with the Star Wars prequels, like they've gotten over time, but
it's because the first one was so good and so revolutionary that there's no way you could live up to
Revolutions and Reloaded.
But bringing it back to Resurrections, I didn't know what to. Personally, I think it's incredible that Warner Brothers has been this fucking tight-lipped about this movie, because I kept seeing the Matrix 4 showing up on like movies that were coming out this year, and I'm like, I haven't seen shit about this.
I heard a little bit, but nothing.
And then the CinemaCon thing comes out, and then what people were saying was like, oh, looks cool. And then the use of the fucking music, feed your head while all this crazy, and apparently they've gotten different powers now in the Matrix, because it, like, you saw Trinity's like, she like screeched like a Black Canary type thing.
The music was fucking perfect, dude. Nice job.
Feed your head.
The fucking White Rabbit, dude, by Jefferson
and
Airplane.
it plays into the fucking themes of the first movie, because the White Rabbit, the rabbit hole, the Alice in Wonderland shit, it's like, it all ties into it.
Of course.
So this trailer alone gave me excitement, being like, okay, so it looks like Lana is going back to what she knew, like, and like she's gonna make something that's really gonna tie in everything, and I think she's trying to redeem those other two movies with this one. It's truly what I think, because even the trailer itself kind of has like a wink at the audience. It's like, after all these years, you come back to the Matrix.
What I like to think is that she had, she and her sister, they finished the movies, right? Mm-hmm. And they both went on to do other things. They did Cloud
Speed
Atlas,
Racer,
they did Speed Racer, they did
Jupiter Ascending.
And maybe they just kind of got tired of trying new things and kind of being shot down by critics, basically. So
because the Matrix was the first Matrix was. Again, you've seen it happen a few times, where a young filmmaker gets a chance to make the story they really want to tell, and they get lucky and get studio backing. Right. That's what happened with the Matrix.
Well, I like to think that she always wanted to come back to it.
Yeah.
But the reason why she never did was because there was never an idea that was good enough. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like she just woke up one day or was working on something else and thought, what if ... And then was like, oh shit, I'm calling Keanu right fucking now.
I think it's a good thing. I think it's...
That's what I like to think.
I don't know if it's necessarily trying to redeem the second and third movie, because I think she got to tell the story her and her sister wanted to tell.
Well, dude, when you think about like the transgender themes in the first one, I mean,
it makes so much sense.
Blows your fucking mind.
And the fact that they both transitioned, now you understand it even on a different level. And then she came out and said, "Yeah, that's exactly what this movie was."
Look, seriously, if you're listening right now and you quote unquote don't understand transgender people or whatever,
go watch the Matrix.
Go watch the Matrix and know this. Okay, know this. Neo is representing both of the guy directors at the time, okay? And he is different from everybody else.
And he becomes who he truly is when he changes.
Whoa, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how hard is that to figure out? Like, that's... When I read that in an article, I was like, it literally... My brain did explode, like you do, like, the funny joke.
And that's why I think it's great, because I think that movie, that because of the current climate we're in socially, I think that's what kind of spurred upon this fourth movie, because I think that
would be really cool too.
All these articles talking about it. We just came off the 20th anniversary of the first movie, and I think that's kind of what led to this happening. I don't know, maybe that's the case, but it also has like I was trying to get at earlier, where there's a wink at the end of the trailer where Keanu is talking to the dude from there's a show on Netflix. He plays King George in Hancock.
Oh.
People know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He says after all these years he came back to the Matrix, which I was like, that's kind of a fun little wink at the movie. But I love the idea that the fucking Matrix itself is actively suppressing him by subscribing him blue pills. Like, that's a cool little twist. I want to know what's going to happen. So I don't think it's a reboot. I think it's a direct sequel to Revolutions. Also, there's another thing somebody pointed out in the trailer. Somebody is watching the first movie in the background. So I'm like, what the fuck is this movie? So I'm interested. And you know what? I don't know.
I think she's going to meta the fucking hell out of it, and it's going to be awesome.
And here's the thing. I don't know shit about this movie, and that's why this trailer's perfect.
Yes.
Too much shit is given away in trailers nowadays.
Right.
So the fact that we have a trailer where I have no fucking idea what the movie is going to be is amazing. Just give me tone, give me what it's going to look like, I'm fucking in. So let's talk about the Morpheus situation.
Okay. I don't know what the situation is. I know that Yahya Abdul-Mateen, but I also read an article where they said that had to be done.
Yeah,
for story
I don't
purposes.
know. I'm going to pull it up because there is a discussion about this. And we're going to look at this here. So, all right. So while we were
Talk
looking
about
up,
minds being blown.
yeah, while we were looking up, trying to figure out why Morpheus was recast, we just stumbled on a whole other rabbit hole of ideas and theories. So it's implied. We thought it was going to be a direct sequel to Revolutions. Now there's people saying that it's going to be a direct
At
sequel
least
to
the article
first
we read.
movie.
Yes.
That's going to ignore. This is speculation. Nobody knows this for sure. So that would explain why Morpheus is younger in this.
But also, they're basically we were just literally talking about the 2 sequels, and we just realized that apparently they don't matter.
They might not exist in this. Maybe this is a different version of Neo.
That's actually perfect for me because I don't remember the other one. Because honestly, Matrix is the last one I really truly remember. So if we jump off from there, but it's also talking about maybe an origin story for Morpheus. Of sorts,
there's a possibility that it's going to be a prequel, sort of. Like it could be an origin story for Morpheus, which could work because it would continue the idea that Neo is a constant. So Neo is even is a constant character in Morpheus's life. So then it could run along the theme of it's the same code,
and maybe
it's the constant.
Maybe it's a whole misdirection, and at the very very end of this one, Larry Fishburne shows up.
Oh shit!
See, this is where you come for the fucking hot takes. Hot take. It's hot.
But I don't know. Maybe
this just makes it more exciting to me. Honestly, I want to see it more now, knowing this shit.
Yeah.
Like, holy what?
There's so much to talk about.
The article talks about how his being younger is possibly central to the plot of Matrix Resurrection 4. And that's interesting to me. Why? Why is that central that he's younger? There's so much fucking shit to unpack in this story. I have utter faith in
So yeah, that's worth thinking. Well, I don't understand why Morpheus is still young. That's the question, because Neo is completely different than the first movie.
Yeah.
Look wise, and
neither
Carrie Ann Moss is they both have aged. It's been 20 fucking years since the first movie.
She's still fucking hot.
She is still very attractive.
I loved her in what MCU show, Marvel show was she in?
By the way, Yahya Abdul Mateen, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Was fucking fantastic in the Watchmen series.
Yes.
I have not seen Candyman yet, but I've heard he's great in that as well.
He's fucking great in Aquaman.
So I'm okay with him being Morpheus. He's a solid fucking actor. He's fucking Black Manta. He's amazing Black Manta.
Fucking great, dude. I like him.
I like him a lot, and I think he'll do a great job. It's just I'm very curious because it seems very much like specifically story reasons, because I don't think there's any problem between Lana and Lawrence Fishburne. I think it was a conscious decision for story to make sense narratively. So we'll see, dude. I have no fucking idea, and that's what makes it so exciting. I'm conflicted because I kind of want to. I know for sure I'm going to watch it on HBO Max because I feel like this is a movie I'm going to want to watch 2 or 3 times.
Right.
So I'm conflicted of if I'm going to go to a theater or not, but it's going to be around Christmas, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Speaking of Christmas,
hey,
there's another trailer out.
Oh, so good.
For the Disney Plus show Hawkeye. And we have a Christmas holiday theme. It makes sense. The show's coming out in November, so I kind of like that they're playing up. Which again, dude, we live in a world where there's an MCU Christmas theme show. We finally got it, because Iron Man 3 is technically a Christmas movie, but whatever. But so what were your takeaways from this trailer?
It looks fun. It looks like a fun show and lots of humor, lots of action, and it's clearly taking a huge chunk of stuff from the Fraction.
Even the logo.
David, series, which I have the first book of that at home, and
it's a great series.
Finally got to read it.
It's so good.
So good.
It only gets better.
I know.
Like, it's a great run.
I know. I actually have the in that first book they have the issue that's told from Lucky's point of view, which is probably one of the greatest comic books ever.
Also, I agree. I thought it looked really fun. I love the idea that it's a holiday themed show.
I'm glad. I'm really glad, as somebody who has hearing issues, I'm glad that they are addressing his hearing loss in the show. You can clearly see his hearing aids, and also Echo. I think she shows up maybe once in the trailer, but she is a traditionally deaf character in the comics. So I like that they are kind of addressing that and including. Look, I know some of you are like, oh, you're just an SJW, whatever, but there's something about inclusivity that is
inclusion matters.
Really beautiful.
Yeah.
If there's a kid, who just has never been interested in comics or whatever, because he's like, well, there's nobody, nobody goes through the shit I go through, and then hey, there's a deaf character and like they relate to, and then they read, that opens a whole fucking world for that kid. That's cool. Why would you be against that? Anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to step off my soapbox, but I like that because, again, I have hearing loss myself. I know I'm going to probably need hearing aids here in the next 5-10 years, if not already. And it doesn't help that I just blast music in my fucking car. But look, it sounds better.
If it's too loud, you're too old, man.
It sounds better loud, man.
It's true.
But I like that. That's one of my favorite things, and it just looks fun and funny, and
yeah,
the chemistry between them is clearly good.
I'm excited because I feel like this is what you can do with these Disney Plus shows. We've had this very character driven story of WandaVision. We have this explanation of the helping mold the future of the universe with Loki, and now you have like Falcon Winter Soldier, it's like passing of the torch to Captain America, and now you're gonna have a similar story like that with this, because Kate, it's clear they're doing this so Kate Bishop can be the new Hawkeye, which is a crazy thing to think, that we're in the fucking legacy era where we've got a new Captain America, we're gonna get a new Hawkeye, we're gonna get a new fucking Iron, because Ironheart's gonna show up.
Well, they're gonna have
she's gonna be in Wakanda Forever.
Working on the Young Avengers right now too.
Yeah, so. That was my big takeaway. I'm really excited because Haley Steinfeld is a great actress, and I think her and Jeremy Renner just already seem like they have good chemistry.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see more of. I want to see more of his home life, because they did such a great job in the second Avengers movie to set them up. So when they are fucking dusted in the end game, it's such a gut punch to the start of that movie. So I love the fact that they're going back to his roots and dealing with his family, because at the end of the day, that's what his character is. He's a family man, And I think what's so great about his character is that idea of like, he really shouldn't be an Avenger, but like fucking Avengers 2, he's like, we're in a sky, it's floating in the air, it makes no sense, but I'm just gonna keep fighting.
Yeah.
And you're seeing that in this movie, or in the trailer. I love the part where she breaks in to the warehouse and they got all the guns pointed at him, and he just lands like oh, Jesus. Which is good, because look, I fucking love buddy cop movies. I love action comedy.
That's why I like it. It is a fucking buddy cop movie, and I love
that shit.
I know you're like, why are you adding cop? It's because it's described.
It's a genre.
It really is. Midnight Run is kind of a buddy cop movie, even though there's no cops.
Buddy cop just sounds better. I mean, you could really just say like a buddy movie, but it doesn't sound right. Buddy cop.
Buddy cop.
No, I'm excited.
I'm gonna be a DJ called Buddy Cop.
Buddy Cop, it's a DJ.
Buddy Cop.
Whoop. Oh, hey. Sounds like sweet. They've turned it off.
We just became DJs. And you'll never know because you turn it off.
You turned it off too soon.
Turn it off too soon.
Musical Tourette's. T-shirt. That might be offensive. I apologize to anybody with Tourette's.
That's true. I don't want... Yeah.
I'm sorry for everything.
No, I really am.
No.
I don't want to make somebody feel bad.
No, we won't. We'll make merch out of that. That would be
terrible.
In poor taste.
Hey, what's a good way to get canceled?
What's a dumb idea, Jake?
Tyler's Long Box.
Yeah, let's talk. What a segue. Final thoughts on the Hawkeye trailer. I'm excited. We'll see. Oh, I wanted to mention this. There's clearly a musical that is like,
yes,
dude, the fact that they made it looks like a Hamilton style musical called Rogers is fucking hilarious.
So for those of you who don't know, they actually tried to make a Captain America musical in the 80s.
Nuh-uh.
Yes, and in the comics, I can find one at home actually. They had, for like a good 3 or 4 months, they ran this contest.
Yeah.
And it was, you can star in Cap's Broadway show. And it was a contest. And you would win a walk-on part in the Broadway premiere. Yeah. and the fucking picture is Cap, and he's got one of those big like hats, but it's like star spangled.
Yeah.
And he's got like a cane, and he's like all strutting. And it's just the most horrifying thing ever. And here's the fun thing: is somebody won that, but they never finished the show. The show never happened.
Huh.
So another great article for all of you to read out there. Literally Google.
We should cover this one day. Like do a
You know
deep
what?
dive
Yeah.
on this.
Fuck you. Don't Google shit. We're gonna do that next week. We're gonna talk about failed contest winners.
No, I wanted to talk about this
What
I want
really-
to talk about this Captain America musical.
We want to talk about the Captain America musical.
talk about the Spider-Man one?
We want to talk about the Simpsons house. We want to talk about the Lifetime Supply people. We're gonna have a good time next week. Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Because there's horror stories of winning contests that you thought were great.
Yeah, I can't wait. I really hope we do get an extended scene of the show of Rogers because I want that fucking
I
show.
hope the whole fucking series starts with that.
It's because I'm a sucker for when they do. Because this was so
Give
insane.
me 10 minutes of Rogers the
listen to how
musical.
insane
I'll watch
this
it.
shit sounds.
Right.
The MCU has been around so long that this Rogers idea for your musical is so believable because I could see it happening in our society. Do we have fucking Spider-Man Turn Out the Dark or whatever, that Broadway Spider-Man musical? So it's possible. And you know what? They ingrained it into their own fucking universe, and it's a movie inside a movie that's based on shit from a comic book that's it's crazy.
We're gonna also talk next week about
I love movies
Spider-Man
inside of
Into the
movies.
Dark because I actually read about that because I was really
Is it
curious.
Turn Out the Dark or Into the Dark?
I think it's Turn Out the Dark or
Something
something
like
like that. It's really stupid. But here's the great thing is it. And
I always think of that South Park clip.
between now and next week, we're gonna both read about it. But it is so fucking insane what happened. And why it was such a
death.
disaster. No, all of it. All of it. From the funding on down to
yeah, somebody died though, right? In the
I
stagehand.
believe so, but
Jesus.
from the funding on down to the dude who took the tickets, everybody fucked up at every level. It's fucking great.
All right.
I mean, not that somebody died, but the rest of it is
No,
are you
it's
crazy?
I'm sure it'll be one of a Tiger King Netflix style documentary, it's a series.
Yeah, it'll be.
All right, moving on to Tyler's long bomb. What do you got this week, buddy?
We're gonna talk about the original Secret Wars series, and you can.
Because you think that the MCU is going in that direction.
I do, and
Sorry, I
also
interrupted. Explain why.
No, you're fine. Actually, that does make sense. But also, the main thing I wanted to talk about is story beats and how important they are to things. And we started off the show talking about different characters, especially female characters and their representation in live action, and whether or not it's important to the story. That's why I kept repeating, can you have a live action She-Hulk who's not stacked?
Yeah.
Yes, you can. So, but on the other way, I don't have a problem with characters being a traditionally white character being played by a black person. I don't have a problem with a traditionally male character being played by a female. Any of that.
I don't care if they gender swap or whatever.
If you know what, honestly, if it works for the story, great, fantastic. But here's how nerdy I am. I don't like the Venom movies because
There's no
Venom
Spider-Man.
showed up in Spider-Man in the original Secret Wars.
Yeah, he's a Spider-Man
series.
villain. That's what he started out as. So.
Now,
Venom
in this-
doesn't exist without Spider-Man.
Exactly. In this Secret Wars series, they all these heroes and all these villains are brought to this planet, this makeshift planet, and Beyonder, destroys everything, and he's the most powerful. Doctor Doom and Galactus are both there for some reason, and they're both basically trying to take Beyonder's power, and the other people are just trying to survive and shit. And they have a big fight. And a lot of their costumes are ruined, and they find in this crazy, they each have domains, these big complexes, like the heroes do and the villains do. And the heroes, they find this costume maker, and what it is they enter into this kind of like a airline style metal detector, and they think of something, and then the machine makes it. So all of these Spider-Man watches all these other heroes I need a new costume. They walk through and they get one. And it's great. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I don't want to do that because mine's all fucked up. He walks through. He comes out with this black suit. Now, we don't know for about 4 or 5 years that this is a symbiote. This is not just a suit. Now, you start getting different notions that it is alive during the Secret Wars series, but I am such a nerd that it's impossible for me to watch the Venom movies and not think, well, this is just a travesty, because he's not. He came to Marvel Universe through Spider-Man. That's how he got here. Null,
Also,
the symbiote god Null has the spider symbol on his carapace, a carapace or whatever the fuck you call that.
Oh yeah, Donny Cates kind of rewrote that.
Right, but
It sucks, but
this is one of the things. This is why comic books are amazing. Now, again, go check out Secret Wars. It's an amazing piece of work.
Hold on 1 second.
But a couple things about this. Number one, it was the first company-wide crossover. A lot of people think now it's an old hat thing, but these didn't exist back then, and it was insane. It was unprecedented at the time. They took all of their most popular characters out of their own books and sent them to this miniseries, and then had to pick up the pieces in their own books, and it worked. It was mega successful. It was insane. And then they had Secret Wars 2 and ruined it, and then they had Secret Wars the reboot and ruined it, and blah blah blah, whatever. Anyway, but what I also want to talk about is pause for a second. And then the other part of it is I want to explain to you how amazing comic book characters are. Now, there are novel characters, characters from novels like, Sherlock Holmes, Conan the Barbarian, things like that. But they're almost always, it's like one book and it's every so often, it's whatever. These have been going on almost monthly for 80 fucking years.
You can jump on and find an arc that you like, read it for a while, and then jump out. That's how I read.
Yes.
I read trades. That's how I read comics.
I kind of like how Marvel does their shit now, which is okay, here's a 5-issue miniseries because we wanted to tell this story. Mm-hmm. And then they have they also have a couple of long-running series that are continuous.
Reminds me. I was going to borrow the Beta Ray Bill series.
Oh, yeah, you can.
But just do it after I'm moving, because I'm moving shit.
Yeah, no chance of I losing that shit.
But yeah, that's a great example. Why did they make a Maestro prequel series? They didn't need to do that. They
wanted to tell the story, and that's I love that. But they still have Avengers and Spider-Man and Fantastic. They still have their ongoing series
shit that'll go on till the end of time.
Here's why DC has got it all over. So when you think about it, a guy made up a suit that seemingly was alive and maybe had no other designs on it, and then this other writer comes along and goes, "Hey, you know what? Let's make this an alive thing, and let's make it like it's trying to take over his body."
It's funny that you say that because I only remember.
I'm not done. Wait, just hang on. Keep that thought.
It's gonna go forever.
No, it's not. Hey,
we get it. Secret Wars was great.
Alive, trying to take over his body, and then that writer left, and then the next writer came on and was like, "Oh, you know that suit that he got taken off in the bell tower? Well, there was a guy down in the church, and it bonded to him, and now we got a villain." You see how comic books can just.
It's a more sadistic.
It's basically one guy created a character, the next guy sees it a different way and makes an arc, and so on and so forth. Comic book characters are the most complex and coolest and got the best character arcs because it's been going for so long. And this is why DC cannot touch Marvel on this. DC did the new 52, right?
10 years ago.
Yes. It was a disaster. Why? Because they tore everything down and started over. Crisis on Infinite Earths back in the day tore everything down and started over. Marvel does soft reboots. But the Captain America in the Avengers comic right now is the dude who fought in World War II and he woke up in the 70s or 60s or whatever it was in the comics, blah, blah, blah. He's still largely that guy. They've never really gone hey, you know what? We're starting way over, and they tried to with the Heroes Reborn shit.
They did the Ultimate Comics.
That was a way
of starting over.
Exactly, and that's why they did it that way. So hey, we're not fucking up with the normal continuity. But when you think about it, they reference stuff in comics in 2021. They reference stuff from comics in the 70s, and people get it. They trust their readers to say, "Hey, we know you're smart enough to get all this shit." Yeah. DC thinks their readers are idiots, and Jake, somebody I know. I mean, I'm not going to lie.
Are you fucking done? Let's move on. Jesus, get it? You like Secret Wars, guy?
But no, go check it out. And comic book characters again. I truly believe are the best
No,
type
what I
of
was saying was funny is
fictional characters.
because Venom origin is different for me because I saw it in the cartoons, and in the cartoons, it's the J. Jonah's son brings it back from space.
Yeah, most people know that.
Yeah.
Is John Jameson in the first Venom?
His name is mentioned. It is him, but he's dead.
Right,
he
but-
dies in the beginning.
Right, but his name is okay.
It just says Jameson on his suit. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, see, I've never seen the movie. Still,
Well, I had it on Blu-ray, and I think someone stole it.
yeah, it was me. Just kidding. Wouldn't that be ironic?
Well, I'm moving, so
you wanted
who knows?
to loan it to me so I could watch it, and meanwhile I stole it all this time.
Probably. Honestly, I think that's probably what happened.
Are you serious?
Because it's not in my bookcase. So maybe you just have it and you forgot. It's very possible.
I've never wanted.
I'm
to
sure I
watch that
loaned it
movie.
to you.
No.
And then you're like, okay. And then you forgot you had it and you never watched it. I'm not accusing you of stealing from me. Anyway, I'm just saying.
I don't believe you.
You have terrible short-term memory. I'm just saying.
You have terrible. What'd you just say?
I do too. I'd forget my balls if they weren't attached to me.
Oh, dude, we had to pause. In the
I could
middle.
have said head, but I said balls. That's the kind of guy I am.
We had to pause in the
move
middle of my
on.
rant. Like, oh, what
Jakes.
was it? Unlimited.
All right. We're fucking children. All right. I'm keeping with the...
Somebody wrecked.
I know this is broken record, but I'm sticking with Jason Aaron.
If you're waiting for OnStar to help to arrive right now, let's tell you about Jake Unlimited.
It's too late.
Because you got in an accident.
Well, they're probably dead.
Hopefully you're not.
Wow. Because you took so long talking about Secret Wars.
They were just like, I'm driving the car.
Oh, God, I can't handle this fucking Secret Wars shit.
Thank God I'm on the Pacific Coast Highway.
I wish I had someone.
I could just take a right.
I wish you'd talk about digital comics. All right, so... Anyway.
Digital comic.
Well, technically. Yeah, I'm sticking with Jason Aaron's run on Thor. I'm reading I'm now moved on to volume 2 of God of Thunder. Godbomb. So I will say this. I think Jason Aaron has a great ability to bring in a character like Gore that he completely made up for this arc, and it still has the weight and mythos to feel like it's been a character in the Marvel universe for a while. And I think that was a really cool way to create a character. Like, his backstory is so fascinating, and then the idea that he's out to kill gods, all these gods, because he felt betrayed by them, and like, it's depressing. If you haven't read it, I encourage you to go read it. I think it's you have to read Volume 1 and then read Godbomb, because Godbomb starts with the origin of Gore, and even leading up to that, it's such a fucking trippy story, because the main story is 3 Thors, and it's the one before he picks up Mjolnir. I've mentioned this on the show before, but it's the one that he just has the axe. He doesn't have Mjolnir yet.
Bjorn.
And then the second one is the Thor that we know, in the present, and then the third is Thor 1,000 years from now.
God.
And it looks like fucking
God King Thor.
Yeah, it looks like Odin, and it's pretty wild. And then towards the end of I think it's the start of this arc, if I remember correctly. The current Thor that we know shows up with Old Man Thor, Old God King Thor, whatever you want to call him, and I like old God King guy Thor. And they fight together, and it's such a cool visual. And then to go to that, to all the shit about Gore, like the fact that his planet was dying, and they constantly prayed out to the gods, and nothing happened, and they didn't fix anything.
It's kind of a cool origin.
And then the gods fall to his surface, and he picks up the All Black. Which, by the way, this was written in 2013. That does this whole time. These characters are saying, "Do you know who wielded that? Who had this power?" Now, I don't know if Donny Cates mentioned this to Jason Aaron one time. I was like, "Hey, dude, I read your Thor book," and I thought, because that happens in 2013. Flash forward to 2018 when Cates takes over Venom. That doesn't pay off until then. We find out that the All Black was created by fucking Null.
Yeah, All Black the Necro Sword. What a fucking cool name.
The All Black has the ability to kill the gods. That's how Gore keeps killing gods.
And the first person who ever meets Null is Silver Surfer in the Silver Surfer Black miniseries, which is a great fucking series.
And it's kind of what you were talking about earlier with Marvel, with their ability to bring in Donny Cates and his ability to tie it all together that way.
Yeah.
But it also seems like he's jerking himself off to be like, Null is tied to the Silver Surfer and was responsible for creating the All Black. That being said, I love it. I think it's such a cool thing. And just to have that knowledge now to when he's talking about that, to being like, oh shit. So he like, Donny Cates really did appreciate Jason Aaron's work and really pulled that from this story.
That's why
so cool.
That's what I love about comic books is I know it sucks for the creators because it's a company owned character.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, these guys are not going to get any residuals for, you know, creating these awesome characters. But you know, if you look past that, which is hard to do for me because I'm a creator, but if you look past that, you realize that because these are owned by like, you know, companies, they are always that character, and almost everything has to be approved by like the powers that be, like the editors.
Yeah, that's why so many creators are going to Substack and doing more independent work.
Because it's like we don't have any, you know,
I don't own this. Yeah,
right. But also with like I don't have any restrictions put on me on what story I can tell.
I can tell whatever story I want to tell. Sure.
That's a couple of directors who have been in and out of the MCU or were up for MCU movies and didn't end up doing it have stated publicly that there's a rigid construct that, you know, basically from what I understand, they give you kind of an outline and say like these things kind of need to happen and then go, like you're free to do your vision mostly, but there are a couple things that need to be, you know, kind of in there, right? And some directors have said like that's not how I work. You know, I don't use anything rigid. So, and that's why they didn't work in the MCU or they didn't get the movie and somebody else got it. But I like that idea. I don't know why you can't work within that, make a shitload of money, and then go make like 8 independent films, you jerks.
Anyway,
independent filmmakers,
so
just the worst.
Godbomb is awesome. I love it because of the way that this story plays with time and plays with the idea that these are characters that are immortal. So, you know, we can jump 900 years in the future and still have these characters, and it's such a cool story. And I've never really read Thor books. Like Thor is my favorite character in the MCU, but it's funny because I never read a Thor book. I just really like. I
love Thor books.
I think it's because I have a weird hard on for thunder gods, but like Raiden is one of my favorite characters in Mortal Kombat. One of my favorite games when I was on PS3 was Infamous, and you have electrical powers and shit. So I've always had a weird fascination with electrical beings.
He's got an electrocution fetish.
I got a super hard on for Electro. Especially Jamie Foxx. He's a hunk.
Talk about a thirst trap.
Jokes aside, he is a very attractive man. Anyway, I want to make that very clear.
Listen, man, he is all right.
Jamie Foxx, I'm married, but you know.
I was watching. I was at somebody. I don't think it was here, but somebody was watching TV, and Django was on. Like the very beginning, when they show when they're walking through. They're walking through the hills and stuff, and that awesome fucking Italian dude singing like Django.
Yeah,
like,
Django.
Oh my god, dude! I'm just like, you know, man. Goddamn, Quentin.
You know what that reminds me of?
You're probably pretty racist, Quentin. I mean, you like to say the N-word a lot, but damn, your movies are great.
I like. It reminds me of Rango. Have you ever watched Rango, the kids movie?
No,
dude.
I know of it.
So good. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's more than a kids movie.
Yeah,
it's more adult.
No, I didn't say that. I've never seen it
because that's what it makes things. Because there's the theme is like that old spaghetti western. It's like Rango, like that. It's like I fucking love that shit.
I think I've seen bits of it.
It's the Johnny Depp one where he's the chameleon.
Somebody told me that basically Rango is Fear and Loathing as a lizard.
Fear and Loathing, yeah, as a kid's version of Fear and Loathing. They even make a joke about that in the movie.
Yeah.
Because he hits
the
cars and it's him. It's his character. He's like, what the hell? Like, hey.
That's fucking crazy.
What a weird way to end the show. Thanks so much for listening to another episode of Off Panel, Off Topic. Go read some Secret Wars. Go read some Thor, God of Thunder. Have yourself a great... Read some fucking comic books, man.
You know, you kept saying
I'm just
go,
saying,
and I thought you were going to end with, go check
fuck
this
yourself.
out. Yeah, I thought you were going to go fuck yourself. Like, wow.
Yeah.
It's a great way to retain listeners.
Remember how you like to do outros for this? You don't, do you?
I don't remember anything because, you know, I have short-term memory, but...
Because you was like, we wanted to end it like Stan Lee.
You know what
like,
I bought last night?
What?
I bought Chocula and Booberry.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Off Panel, Off Topic with Jake and Tyler.